Ladies and gentlemen, a lot has been happening in crypto. Take a look at this. For XRP, something pretty exciting is coming up. When I say 2024, what do you guys think about? You think, oh, that's pretty far away, right? Wrong! That's actually in less than 2 months from now. Well, officially more than 2 months. But I mean, like, we're almost halfway through October, and like the last couple of weeks of December don't really count. So it's about 2 months away. And you know what's happening then? Derivative exchange 𝗕𝗏𝗏 is planning to start offering XRP options in January. That's pretty nice. At the same time, people have been shouting, guys, woo! In April, there's another meeting between Ripple and the SEC as they're going to be talking about settlement in the meantime. And in April, they're going to go to trial. And so people have been saying, well, if a settlement comes, XRP is going to go insane. And my response is, it just depends on whether or not the market is bullish or bearish, because otherwise, most likely, the price will do well for that day and then come right back down. But from a fundamental perspective, a lot has changed for XRP in the last couple of weeks. Very importantly to understand here is that between July 13th, when the lawsuit basically concluded for the part that mattered, and now, the price has not changed. It went from 50 cents to 50 cents. Even though it went to $1 for a little bit, it's back to 50 cents. The point is, though, and that's crucial, if you had to look at the value proposition, you might say, well, at that point, you had the expectation of potentially a price increase due to the lawsuit win. Right now, you've got another one of those, and a lawsuit loss would not matter in terms of the jury. If they lose, it's going to be Brad and Chris losing. Who cares? If they win, it could be another bullish event. But most importantly, we right now have got the same fundamentals, yet we don't, because the price is still the same. But XRP right now is a properly legal, regulated type of asset that it wasn't before. And so if you're asking the question, is XRP a better buy now than before? Well, I am not your financial advisor, so do as you please. But for my own fundamentals, the short-term gain potential is now less than before. As before we were thinking, well, if the lawsuit comes to a conclusion, boom, crazy spike in price. But from the fundamental perspective, yeah, it's basically the same, but then better. So theoretically speaking, I should be stacking up more now for the bull run than before. Because that, oh, we could maybe lose the lawsuit and XRP will be screwed, is gone. So right now, in my opinion, it's almost a guaranteed victory in the bull run. Not lawsuit-wise, I'm just talking about XRP almost guaranteeingly succeeding. And as I said before, if you're asking my personal price prediction, you guys can't hear, but I can hear many kids screaming, all right? And no, they're not in my basement, but I basically think it's going to go to like $20, $25. Something like that would not be too weird, and I've described this many times. XRP should have gone to $10 or so if it followed Bitcoin's historical gains from about 19,000 to 69,000. XRP will go from $3 to about $10, something like that, $10.50. And I think next bull run, Bitcoin's going to at least double, and so I think if XRP doubles to $20, something like that, that would be just kind of normal. Anyway, at the same time, I should also describe that I've gotten more bullish on XRP as time progressed. And I know I don't want to talk about this, or I should say it differently. I know a lot of you guys don't like to hear just me saying the same thing. Oh, I've gotten more bullish. Oh, this is going to happen. No, let's back it up. And to back it up, like I just said, we're seeing more exchanges start to get excited. Bitstamp apparently restores XRP trading after a temporary glitch. Is a little nothing burger in the mist. But you know, I guess it's a good little update for people that use Bitstamp. Not sure why you would, but hey, what is a little bit more exciting is things like this. Ripple's recent court wins boost global partnership hopes, with some actual companies also stating indeed. 𝗬😍 pointed out that Ripple got a favorable outcome in its US court case, and that the FTA is now exploring the option of using the platforms for cross-border payments. From what I can understand, it can generate real-time transfer of payments, and they seem to have a lot of checks and balances in place. At the briefing that I was at, where I did that post, there was a lot of representatives from the major banks, so they were very interested in it. And as we stated already, they approached us some time ago, but at the time, they were battling some legal battle in the US, and our position to them was, look, come back to us once you've sorted all that shit out. You only get one chance at a first impression, and if this court case doesn't go well for you, well, but now that's cleared, and now we're in the bullish territory again, right? I was looking for one specific video for a while. I found it here again. Epic moment. Ashton Kutcher, if you don't know who he is, very, let's call it popular actor, and perhaps, I guess, angel investor or whatever he does for the rest, gave Ellen DeGeneres $4 million in XRP for her charity live on TV, sharing a Ripple moment. Well, he basically explains Ripple's idea and XRP's purpose. And I don't know whatever became of them and their investment in Ripple and how much they're involved and how it became with the I guess, the charity donation, nor do I really care about it. But I found it interesting how this felt like kind of like a promotion over on Ellen, even though Ripple didn't really have a retail product at the time. And it made me think, why did they go for such a publicity stunt? Or was it Ashton Kutcher himself just wanting to explain about his investment? Because again, he knows they're going to change the world, and he'd like to get the word in that he knows as early as possible. Because again, they have no real retail product at the time. What was he explaining it for? For investors? For branding? And why give XRP? I really still don't fully understand that. If you guys have a theory, let me know down below. And on that same note, if you guys have not pressed that like button yet, right now is your chance. I'll give you like 2 seconds. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. On another little side note, this is how I'd like to see every single one of you, all right? Yes, with all this free room for real estate. I'm talking about a bald head. That's how I'd like to see all of you guys, so I'd feel less self-conscious about my hair. Nah. I really want to see every single one of you do well, and that's why I keep explaining in these videos what my strategy is on these short-term things, right? For example, I described my strategy with regards to shorting and potentially longing actually a lot of the DWF Labs coins because they're master manipulators. I talk a lot about the SEC manipulation and how I battle that. But as a baseline, I really want to tell you guys, and I really want to pinpoint this every single day if I have to. My baseline for investing is this. We're at one of the lowest points in interest in almost any other metric right now. What's going to happen is there's not that much downside anymore, but a lot of upside potential. Even though the price can halve, certainly it could. I am betting on the idea that it's not, and that if it goes down, it's not going to be that significant, or it's going to be a quick rebound before moving sky high, because Bitcoin's done it the last 3 cycles, and this time around, I don't think it's going to change. From the fundamental perspective, that it's just better now than ever before. So I am basing everything on the halving. I'm buying as much as I can before it happens and slightly after it happens. And I believe quickly after the halving comes around, April 1st, 2024, the crypto market will actually start to move towards all-time highs again. And I think the majority of people will only notice once we're already very much into the bull run. But I believe the bull run has already started, and so I'm buying accordingly. The only problem is we're not at the phase yet where altcoins are better. Right now, I'm going to be honest with you, even though I'm more bullish on things like XRP, etc., right now the best thing to go for is still Bitcoin. As it changes, from my own perspective, I'll update you. Guys, we're not here to be in a cult, all right? If you're in it here, in the channel, on the channel, only to support XRP, we don't have much to talk about. Because I would sell XRP any day of the week if my coin all of a sudden did 10,000 X. I'm talking, for example, if now my $1 XRP goes to $10,000, I'm selling so much. You might say, oh, but Dusty, it's actually going to change the rest of the finance. With $5 trillion in my bank, I don't care about what it's supposed to do. I'll change the world myself. I don't care. You know, you understand the notion of, I think XRP is one of the best vehicles to get you from wherever you are right now to where you want to be. And perhaps it's going to change the world someday. I think they've got a good roadmap to get that done. And I hope it can help a ton of people. But the technology is only as good as the execution and the market for it. If it needs to sit on a little lower pit for a little while to cook better, and I can better buy something else right now to get me more gains to then potentially even buy more XRP, I'm doing that. And I highly suggest you guys to not only stick in your head with, I need to buy one thing like a robot and just get this one to the moon because I don't want to look into other things. Look for whatever will get you the best outcome as to what you want. If your goal is to only support the best ecosystem, then sit down and properly explain to yourself, not to me because I don't care, to yourself why XRP or whatever you've bought is really the best and no other asset is worth looking into or buying some of. I'm talking nothing, right? No houses, no gold, no silver, no AI company, no electricity company, no telecom provider, nothing. Only your asset. And then if you know that so well, why could somebody else ever disagree? If you've got that good in your head, then I will say that's good. But most people, they're like, no, I've heard something about it, and for that reason, I'm all in. I don't like the reason of all in. I don't like to go all in because even though XRP's got the most potential, things can always still go wrong. And you always want to mitigate the risk of complete failure, which is, even though you can go hard on your ass, right? You can fall down hard. As long as you've got $1 to spare to start over again, you can make it. But if you fall completely to the ground, it's just so much more demoralizing, so much more demotivating. And I'd always prefer to at least have a percentage in something else for in case. My personal advice, not financial advice, just for entertainment purposes. Anyway, if you want to hear it from the freaking horse's mouth, Binance's CZ says multiple all-time highs likely after 2024 Bitcoin halving. The CEO of the world's largest crypto exchange explains how Bitcoin's program supply shock has historically had a significant impact on the price, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. The reason CZ holds multiple things as well, even though he doesn't need to, because he could theoretically speaking only hold Bitcoin or only hold BNB and he'd be fine. He has multiple cryptos because he basically sees potential in both and has a use for both. And he doesn't hold too many, mostly because he doesn't want to associate his name with those, I believe. But that's also a matter of, if I am making the next big company that's supposed to do everything, right? Everything. I don't really understand why I would also put my foot in other companies, put my money into other companies, because I'm going to do everything and make everything. I might just have it, let's just call it that I'm making a token. I would have everything in my own token, potentially sell some for fiat just to have fiat gateways, and maybe have some Bitcoin because that's the base. But I wouldn't necessarily, if I was creating a platform, invest in other platforms, because you're the only platform that the world needs. So why would you tell the other world, or the world I should say, that other platforms also have the potential? Why would you invest in those if you've got your own? So from his perspective, I understand why he's not diversifying, but also because he's a billionaire, so he doesn't care. If we're being honest, right? Let's say I'm seeing an opportunity. Boom, this coin. I see the manipulation, I understand the game, I understand the pump and dump, and I can just quickly make some money with some flips or with some strategies. I'm doing that. I don't care about your long-term strategy. You've also got to understand the hardest part is not diversifying. It's actually holding on to assets that have gone on a crazy tangent, on a crazy multiplier. To be as rich as this motherfricker right there, right? You understand how hard it is? Let's just say, and this is another funny question for all of y'all. Let's say, bam, you put $2,000 in. Tomorrow, you wake up, bam, 20 million. You cashing out? 99.8% of the people I ask this question to will say, absolutely yes. Why? Because those are crazy gains, and that's amazing. Would that be the same, though, if you built the company and this happened to you? Because the moment you sell, you might wreck what you've got. But then again, you've got 20 million now. To double it up, though. But how can you ever get to, 200 billion if at 20 million you already got the crazy 𝗕𝗔𝗀𝗶𝗀𝗆𝗏 and now you stopped and you kept your money on the side? You might say, well, I'd invested in something else. But what if this is what you build to become the next big thing? Why give up at 20 million? You understand where I'm going with that? No, I just sell a little bit. You could, but then you've got less working capital now to build out your insane old company because you decided to put some into fiat for safety. You understand where I'm going with that? A lot of these guys had to risk, regardless of their background, right? Had to risk so much to the point where most people could have not handled it. But let it act as a lesson that I believe as well. In this bull market, if you've got $1,000, you've got to lose hundreds of dollars to make those tens of thousands. If you've got hundreds of thousands, you need to lose tens of thousands to make those millions. If you've already got millions of dollars, you might at least need to lose hundreds of thousands. And again, if you've got tens of millions, you've got to lose millions of dollars, in my opinion, as far as I've noticed from people around me and myself, to make tens of millions of dollars. And you've got to be willing to risk to make. If there's no risk, almost always, there's no return. Or rather, it's a strange investment, really. I've talked about this in multiple of my videos, and I think another video is coming out about that soon, about my theory on risk. And again, in the crypto space, you've got so many forms of risk. You've got the performance risk based purely on the TA of sort. You've got the risk from regulatory bodies. And I've said before, the reason the 2025 run is going to be my main one for cashing out stuff mostly has to do with the regulatory side. I'm thinking sometimes, what if they decide to get a lot of these governments together and go for a massive campaign to shut crypto down for a while? I think crypto will thrive on that shutdown and everything like that. From the same perspective that I don't think any authority can ever really shut down crypto, but they can make it extremely hard for the meantime. And so over the next 2 years, I'll be cashing out a good chunk and putting it into different things, but knowing for the most part that crypto will most likely do well over the next more years to come. And I will always have Bitcoin and have some other cryptocurrencies that I think are going to last throughout the ages and change the world. That does not mean, though, that I don't at some point think it's my best decision to keep everything in crypto. If I can find a better investment vehicle, I'll go for it. And I highly suggest you guys to also think about your investments that way. To not think about it in a way of, I've got to buy this one thing and keep with it forever because that's going to be my... If it fails, it fails. If you got something else, look for it or go for it. Because you should also add, you only need one coin, only one moment for it to be your make or break it moment, basically. If you only succeed once, it's actually good enough in the crypto space. You've basically got everything you ever wanted. But yeah, that was my story for today. I know I sometimes go on little tangents, but I'm really doing this for you guys, so please understand. If I'm rambling on, it's because I can't find the best words to describe the story to you guys. But the reason I'm going through it with it is because I'd say over my investment career here, I've witnessed so many different things and so many lessons, and I just want to share them regardless of whether or not I can think of the best story. But yeah, that's about it.